All right, everyone. If you guys have never met me before, my name is Dr. Jen. I'm a pharmacist and diabetic educator. And I want to start our meeting today talking about the newest adventure that I'm going down. I am working on becoming a certified diabetic educator, which takes a lot of hours of time and one-on-one counseling with diabetics in order to get that certification. Part of the certification that I'm doing involves doing what is called a diabetic prevention program. So I'm going through the lifestyle coaching class to learn specifically how to coach pre-diabetics from going into diabetes. So when they're at that pre-diabetic stage of helping prevent progression of the disease and put it in remission. And it's been very eye-opening because, we in the wellness space, we've already learned a lot of things that what we need to do to keep our blood sugar under control and our insulin levels. But to see it from a additional vantage point has been incredible. And the program that I'm following has seen amazing both weight loss results and blood sugar lowering results. And together with what we talk about, I just think it's going to be incredible for the entire team. So I'm super excited to bring that to you guys very soon. So everybody who came on here today, I'm super excited. We have a special guest. My friend Jessica is here to share her story. I'm super excited for you to come on here, Jess. I've been talking to you about this for a while. So she finally agreed to come on here, and I love you for it so much. So without any further ado, I'm going to jump right into our presentation talking about blood sugar. All right. So let me go into screen share. We will go into presentation mode. All right, there we go. All right. Everything look okay, Tanya? Everything's good? All right. So we're going to talk about blood sugar management and how it is not just for diabetics, okay? Not just for diabetics. Going through not only talking about metformin, GLP injections, and also lifestyle management. So I want to begin this meeting by talking about this. The fact that 93% of Americans have one or more of the following. And this is where I want a little class participation, everyone. Be honest in the chat. How many of you have one or more of these things on the list? Either high blood sugar, high waist circumference, as in a little extra inches around the waistline, high triglycerides, low HDL or good cholesterol, or high blood pressure, or you're being medicated for one of these things. Because if you're under medication that is controlling it for you, you would still be considered someone struggling with their cholesterol or your triglycerides or your blood sugar. Does that make sense? All right, so let's check out the chat we have going on here. Yeah, so 93%. The truth is, guys, the stats are out. 93% of Americans have one or more of these following problems. And if you follow the math down the line, and this isn't just girl math, guys, if you follow the math, 93% of us are either fighting type 2 diabetes or we're preventing it. We're preventing it. That's the truth. 93% of us are at some stage of either insulin resistance, pre-diabetes, or full-blown diabetes. We're struggling with our health and wellness. And that's one of the things I really want you guys to understand, because I have so many people who reach out to me and they're like, my blood sugar isn't a problem. My cholesterol is not that big of a deal. And they don't realize that they're trending in the wrong direction. And if they keep trending that way, they're going to end up like everybody else. So why are 93% of Americans struggling? Well, our food and lifestyle has changed faster than our biology. We went from foods that were once small and fibrous and slowly digesting to these big, huge, literally steroid-looking fruits and vegetables that have less fiber and more sugar. And these foods are delicious and addictive because of the higher sugar content, less fiber content, meaning you eat more servings. And then there's our soil, which is overfarmed, lacking minerals that are essential to our energy production. Energy, meaning, guys, we're eating more sugar than we ever have, and we have less energy, right? So we're leaning into caffeine more. We're leaning into even more sugar to get energized. And I don't know if you haven't noticed, but no matter if it's organic or natural on the label, you can flip it over on the back and it's got added sugar, added chemicals, plastics, junk. The words organic and natural don't mean anything anymore, unfortunately. We look at things like McDonald's, okay? I throw McDonald's out there because they're one of the biggest dogs out there. They used to have 3 ingredients in their fries: beef tallow, salt, and potatoes. Now there's 19 ingredients. Inflammatory oils. It's just crazy. And then we look at, and yes, I'm picking on McDonald's for a moment, but we look at the McDonald's Diet Coke. It's full of aspartame. What does aspartame do? Literally, studies show it causes atherosclerosis, guys, clogging of the arteries from insulin triggered inflammation. So even the diet drinks and foods are full of sweeteners that are still causing inflammation and clogging our arteries. So these modern meals trigger frequent glucose spikes that your body honestly wasn't meant for. All right, if you think about it, hundreds, thousands of years ago, our bodies have the same chemistry of that of the Neanderthal for us to eat a meal and then use the energy for that meal for hours, if not days. Now we're eating 6 times a day. Our bodies aren't made for all of this excess energy. It's driving up our insulin levels, and our body is stuck in energy storage mode, storing our energy from our sugar as fat in our liver and along the waistline. So with all of this is what we end up with. We experience cravings and sugar crashes and excess belly fat. And even though there are more doctors and trainers than there ever has before, specifically helping with weight loss and giving medication after medication to help you get your health in track and get skinny and all of these things, and these dosages of these meds just keep going up, because the truth is, we're not fixing the root cause of our illness, and that's insulin resistance. How many people have one of these symptoms? Thyroid issues, blood sugar issues, cravings issues, fatty liver issues, PCOS issues, belly fat issues. Guys, tired after your meal, losing hair, and it's all happening because at one point in time, most of us have leaned into a high carb diet. And I'll be honest, for you people on here, maybe there's people on here who have always eaten pretty clean. But I myself have leaned into seasons where I have eaten very high carb. I've eaten the drive through. I've eaten the junk food. I've been overindulged in the alcohol, in the bread, in the pasta, in the rice. I know I have. I think most people have. And whether you're doing it now or you've done it in the past, this is the cycle that you get into. This is the cycle you get into. The high carb diet causes insulin to be released from the pancreas. When that insulin gets released, the cells develop a resistance to the insulin because we're constantly eating those carbs. And then the body gets stuck in sugar storage mode, storing the sugar from those carbs into the fat cells. And we feel tired and hungry all the time. So then we overindulge with more caffeine, more carbs. And whether you're in that cycle right now or you used to be in that cycle, it caused you to have maybe cholesterol issues or blood sugar issues, blood pressure issues, waistline growing, weight issues. And now you're here on this video today worried about your health. So can everyone understand and agree that we know where these problems are coming from? So why are so many people struggling? Well, honestly, it's how often we eat. We're overindulging. We're eating too much and we're eating too often. And this is just a nice little pictorial that shows you the little brown arrow is a blood sugar spike. Every time the blood sugar spikes with carbohydrates or sugar, you get insulin that's released from the pancreas. And because the blood sugar goes up in an hour and comes down in an hour or two, insulin stays high for hours, 3 to 4 hours, sometimes even 8 to 10 hours with a high sugar dense meal. That's how this insulin resistance issue happens, because that insulin just gets cumulative over time. The insulin is so high, your pancreas is pushing out more to get the blood sugar down. And over time, that's how that insulin resistance issue leads to the blood sugar not coming down the way it used to. And now we're pre-diabetic, and now we're diabetic. And this is why we're seeing the stats we're seeing today. So when we talk about the stats, more than half of adults are pre-diabetic and don't even know it. Don't even know it. More than half of the people who are struggling have no clue. 1 in 3 teens are pre-diabetic, which is happening right after insulin resistance. And according to the CDC, 1 in 10 people were diabetic in 2010. Now, 1 in 3 will be diabetic by 2050. That's what they're estimating if we continue trending the way we are. So, does this make sense to everyone? that 93% of us are either insulin resistant, pre-diabetic, or diabetic. I was insulin resistant. So many of my friends and family were pre-diabetic. And I'll be honest, my grandfather had severe complications from diabetes. Two of my uncles have had amputations from diabetes. I have a strong family history. And now I am in prevention mode, working on preventing diabetes. So here are some of the medications. I want to talk about the top 2 medications that we are using here in America today to prevent people from becoming diabetic, preventing them from going from prediabetes to diabetes, preventing them from gaining weight. So this is the medication we give people with PCOS when we're trying to help them lose weight. They are now giving out metformin as a weight loss medication, and they give it to pre-diabetic people to help prevent full-blown diabetes. So there are some wonderful benefits to this. I want you to see metformin decreases glucose production in the liver. Wonderful, helps promote weight loss, slows absorption of blood sugar. It may improve LDL cholesterol. It can enhance the glucose use in the cells for better energy. The problem is the side effect profile, right? All medications have side effects. So GI issues are severe for most people. And there are studies showing anywhere from 20 to 75% of people have the nausea, vomiting, abdominal cramping. A lot of people that I see personally can't stay on the medication because of the gut issues. Like they just can't tolerate it. So acidosis, very rare, but it has a 50% fatality rate, guys. It's a rare side effect, but it's a black box warning on this medication because if you get it, it is a 50-50 chance it's going to kill you. Now that's some serious numbers. It causes vitamin B12 deficiency, right? And it can cause weight loss, but that is often attributed to nausea and having too low a blood sugar. So it would combine with other medication, metformin can lower the blood sugar too much. And when you take any kind of medication that lowers the blood sugar too much, this can be a serious, serious problem. Did you guys know that more diabetics go to the ER every year for low blood sugar from being over medicated than from high blood sugar from being under medicated? So then of course there's skin reactions and all of those
You
things.
talk about heat.
So this is why I wanted to bring up this wonderful study. So part of the diabetic prevention program that I am studying and going to be bringing to you as a team talks about this study that was ran from 1996 to 2001, following 3,200 people. They followed 3,200 people who were pre-diabetic. And they actually found that by people walking 150 minutes a week and getting food suggestions, meaning lifestyle intervention, reduced their risk of getting diabetes by 58%, and metformin versus metformin that helped them prevent diabetes by 31%. That's versus placebo, somebody doing no changes at all. So the people they had 3,200 people who were pre-diabetic. Half of them, they just said, we're just going to follow you. Do what you've been doing. Let's see if you become diabetic or not. The other half, they gave metformin, 850 milligrams twice a day. And the third, they said, let's walk. Let's try to walk 150 minutes a week. And here is some food we recommend you eat. That's it. 58% when compared to placebo. Guys, lifestyle intervention works better than the medication. Period and point blank. And so the specific study design is what I'm going to be bringing to the team as well, because I want us to be able to take advantage of this and add this to our regimen for our pre-diabetics. So the other big medication, you guys, we talk about this all the time. You guys have probably heard me talk about it a million times, but it's not going away. So let's chat about it. The GLP-1 injections. They also help decrease the glucose production in the liver, increase the insulin sensitivity, slows the absorption of the glucose, promotes weight loss, lots of good things, helps with lipids, all the same things, basically, that metformin can do. I mean, it has great benefits, right? Like we've seen the benefits from it. The problem also is the side effects, and they are much more severe than metformin. Vomiting, diarrhea, gastroparesis, literally complete paralysis, of the gut, bowel obstructions, gallstones, jaundice, muscle loss. The food noise comes back because it's meant to be a forever med. Ask all the big dogs who've been on this for a while, right? Oprah, Guys, everybody knows Oprah, right? She's the face of Weight Watchers. She brought the Ozempic to Weight Watchers and just puts everybody on a GLP-1 injection now and has made statements that she can't go without it. She's going to be on it for the rest of her life because she realizes she needs medicine to control her eating issue. So, although we've just learned before, lifestyle intervention beats meds. They really truly do. And that's what I see so many of you doing with this, and I'm elated. So we're going to go down that rabbit hole talking about that. But do you guys see all this side effect profile? I've personally seen most of these happen in people I know in my hometown, and I'm from a town of 10,000 people. So if I'm seeing this in people in the last 2 years in my hometown, I'm hearing the emergency room having these issues in my small, tiny little hometown. This is happening everywhere and way more than we think. And it's some serious stuff, guys. Bone loss. You don't come back from that. Shrinking heart cells, thyroid cancer, DVTs. It's incredible. So that is why my friend Jess is here. Because my friend Jess has not only experienced metformin, she has experienced Ozempic. She has experienced type 2 diabetes. And she has an absolutely wonderful story. So I want to make sure if I spotlight you and then I stop share, we can all see Jess okay. Tanya, can we see Jess okay? Good? Okay. You're wrong, girl.
Hi everyone, can you hear me okay?
Yes.
Awesome. Thank you for having me, Jen. I appreciate it. Um, I'm excited to be here to share my story because I feel like there's many people out there like me that struggled with type 2 diabetes. I was first diagnosed with type 2 diabetes back in 2022, and I had an A1C level of around 14. I think it was 14.1. Um, And I didn't know that I didn't realize, like I didn't had no idea that I had diabetes. It was by fluke that my mom decided to check my blood sugars, and um her glucose machine would not give me a reading. And she instantly knew that something was wrong because she used my dad's glucose machine, and his also would not give me a reading. So we went to the emergency room, and sure enough, I had a blood sugar level of 745.
Oh,
Um,
wow, girl. Wow.
the emergency room physician was completely amazed at me still being walking. Um, I had zero inclination that I had was struggling with that. Um, and that's the thing, you don't realize how bad it is until you're told. Um, I didn't think I had type 2 diabetes, and then I found out that I did. And again, my A1C was 14. And it was the very next day that the doctor said, "Hey, you're going on metformin, short, long-lasting insulin, just every medication that they could possibly put me on. I was put on that night in the hospital. Um, it was a wake-up call. It was a moment in my life where I was like, this can't be happening to me. Like I never thought that this would be me, and I was laying in the hospital room, just completely devastated. Um, Fast forward, like I said, that was in 2022. I had every medication on my list to try to bring my blood sugars down. Like I said, my blood sugar was 745 in the ER. Um, and it was a roller coaster. It was something that I just knew that I didn't want to be dealing with. And so in 2025, I've known Jen for a long time, but in 2025 is when I decided to start the Feel Great system. And I am so glad that I did because um, fast forward to now, I completely reversed my type 2 diabetes. I don't have it anymore. Even when I was on Ozempic and all the medications, my A1C fluctuated between 9, 11, 10. It never really went down until I started the Feel Great system. That's when I noticed my A1C was going down, and my endocrinologist started taking me off. Um, she took me off metformin. She took me off the fast acting insulin, the long acting insulin. She's like, because I was having sugar drops, and I hadn't changed anything other than implementing the Feel Great system. I I didn't really change the way I was eating. I didn't really change anything other than doing the Feel Great system consistently every single day. And it was easy. It was easy because I was working overnights at the hospital, and I used to work in the emergency department, and it was just a system that it didn't matter what I was doing or when I was awake or sleeping, it fit right into my schedule. So I started that in 2025, and at the end of 2025, I completely reversed my type 2 diabetes. I went from a 14.1 A1C to now a 5.6 was my last A1C reading. I'm no longer on Ozempic. I'm no longer on metformin, no more insulin. I'm completely off of the diabetes medications. And I'm so glad that I took a leap of faith and trusted God and also trusted Jen, and I just started it. I was at a point where I was like, I have nothing to lose. I'm already on all of these medications. I'm already struggling daily to sleep. Um, Even to just keep my blood sugars in range, it felt like I was constantly just struggling with it, and no like light at the end of the tunnel until Jen, she kept showing me the product. She kept talking to me about them. And I was really skeptical because I was like, there's no way a tea is going to change this big issue that I have in my life. And sure enough, it did. And I'm glad I started them because Ozempic really, really destroyed my gut health. I was on that for 3 years, and I don't wish my worst enemy to take that medication. I just feel like it destroys your mental and your physical health. I had no um, I had no good thing about it. It wasn't even helping me really lose weight. It wasn't helping me lower my A1C. And I was just feeling terrible every single day. So when Jen showed me the Feel Great system, I was at a point where I just felt like I had nothing to lose. Um, and I'm so glad that I took a leap of faith and I just started taking the products. I implemented them into my daily routine. And I would say probably a month into, the biggest thing I noticed was inflammation. I um, started noticing my feet weren't as swollen and my legs. That was like the number one um, like improvement was the swelling. And I even told Jen, I said I had purchased a pair of shoes that almost always were tight every time I put them on. And I said, sure enough, if I am feeling a little bit different in my feet, let me take these shoes back out. And I did. And I tried them on and they fit. And not only did they fit, but they were loose. So I knew that
Wow.
there was something going really well with the inflammation in my body. That was the number one like reaction to the Feel Great system that my body showed me. And then shortly after that, it was my blood sugars. I was in the ranges of 300 to 400 blood sugars. When I first started the system, they went down to 200. And then I was starting to see 180, 175. And about 2 to 3 months in, my blood sugars were 100, 120, 130. They were just back in normal range. And I was like, okay, this is actually working. Like, I was really surprised. And I went to a follow up visit 3 months on the Feel Great system with my endocrinologist. And she looked at me and she said, what are you doing? And I said, I'm drinking this tea. And she said, what is it? And I said, well, it's called the Feel Great system. It's with the company Unicity. And she said, I've never heard of that. And she goes, and this is the only thing you're doing? I said, this is it. I'm not doing nothing else. No other changes I've made. She was amazed. She sat there and looked at me and said, I'm really impressed and amazed. And she even went on her PDR and she searched the products and it came up. And she goes, I'm going to have to do some more research on my own time. I said, do it. She goes, I've never seen somebody go from an A1C to where you started, Jess, to where you're at now. And she was amazed. And even her nurse came in and said, your glucose monitor, your continuous glucose monitor shows your blood sugars are staying in range. And I said, yeah. I said, because I drink a fiber matrix and I drink a tea daily and I just stick to it continuously. I don't change it. And it's helping me. I went from constantly feeling tired all day to sleeping better, inflammation in my body improved. I lost 20 pounds. I haven't seen much more weight loss, but for me, it's not even more to lose weight. It's the fact that my blood sugars are staying in range. I don't have to wear my Dexcom anymore. I'm not on any insulin. I don't have to take the metformin. Gone. And that for me is a win. Is it's not so much about the weight because yeah, the weight is a plus, and for everybody's different. Um, everyone's gonna just experience different wins. But for me was being able to completely reverse my type 2 diabetes because it was a nightmare having it every single day. And I tell my family about it now, and they're like, you don't wear your Dexcom anymore? I'm like, no, I'm not a diabetic anymore. How'd you do that? And then I would tell them, and they're like, wow, like amazing. So for me, I'm glad, like I said, I took a leap of faith and I trusted God and I just got on the system and I stopped being skeptical about it. And it's changed my life. I love it. I can't not go out a day with drinking it. It's like so built into my daily routine that
Mhm.
I just do it now. And it makes me feel good. I'm sleeping better. Like so the inflammation in my body's gone down. It's incredible. And I would recommend it to anybody. And I just feel like so many people are struggling and they don't realize how a system like this can just truly change their life around. And I'm glad that I started it when I did. And I, yeah, I'm just grateful for it. And the results are there. They're in my blood work. I actually also struggled with, and I don't think I mentioned this to Jen, I struggled with fatty liver disease. I've had high fatty liver enzymes forever. I was seeing a liver specialist for the longest time, even as a kid. I always had it. And one day my primary care did labs and he said, hey, your liver enzymes are back in normal range. I said, yeah. And he's like, yeah. He goes, it's been a while since they've been in normal range. Um, what are you doing? And I told him, and he's like, interesting. He goes, well, we should send this over to your liver specialist because you don't have fatty liver disease anymore. Like your enzymes are back in normal range. And I had been on the system at that point for a whole year. So it's the only thing that I did that I changed. So I can't imagine anything else I did would have gotten my liver enzymes to go back to normal range. And they're still now, they're in normal range. Um, and my liver specialist was like, well, you don't need to see me, or I was only monitoring you for your liver enzymes. I don't need to see you anymore. So I do follow up visit with him once a year, but that's about it. I used to see him every 6 months because they talked about a possible, they did a liver biopsy, but they also talked about a possible liver transplant back when I was in high school. So I would say if you're thinking about it, don't think about it, just do it. I'm a testimony to the products, and I'm incredibly grateful for my relationship with Jen. And I just can't say enough good things about the protocol. You have a 90-day money back guarantee. And in those 90 days, you're not even going to think about your money back because you're going to see for yourself the benefits. And like I said, it's not always on what's on the scale. you're going to notice other things about yourself, and it's going to be proof in your lab work. But yeah, that's pretty much it. No more diabetes medicine for me. Um, and I'm just grateful for the system. And I hope somebody is encouraged to, you know, maybe just give it a try. Um, I don't know any company that's willing to give the money back to the customer, and I think that it's because they believe in their product. Um, and Jen is amazing. She's a good coach, and I'm so grateful that she was so persistent and like reaching out to me and like, Jess, I have something for you. I have something for you. And I finally just gave in, and I'm glad I did when I did because it changed my life. I'm grateful for it.
Oh, I'm so happy for you. That is just like goosebumps. Anyone else? Like you just feel the goosebumps. Like your transformation has just been incredible. The stories you
Yeah.
tell me when you came in, I remember the first time when you came in and you were like, Jen, my shoes fit. And I'm like, okay.
Yeah. I had bought in those shoes and they were tight. And I'm like, well, I didn't want to get rid of them. I had paid a good
Mhm.
penny for them. And like I said, I just noticed a little bit less inflammation in my feet. And I'm like, let me try these shoes on because if these shoes fit, this is really going to be like a moment of like, okay, this is working. And so I did. I tried them on and they were good. And I was like, okay, this is this is working, and I don't intend on stopping.
And the testament to the fact that you were on so much medication and your blood sugar was still in the 300s and 400s because you were still struggling to find that perfect balance. And I think a lot of diabetics struggle with that because if you use too much insulin, then you bottom out, and that's not where you want to be. So then you try to not use as much, but then your blood sugar stays too high, and that can do damage to your internal organs. I mean, that's why
Yeah,
diabetics need to take the medication, right? And so you did everything exactly how you should. You added
yeah,
the system to the medication you were already on, and as your blood sugar started to come down, you reached out to your doctor and you said, "Hey, listen, my blood sugar's like normalizing. Check out my CGM numbers." And the medication just came right off. And
yep,
you got rid of fatty liver.
yeah,
Girl.
yeah. That fatty liver was something I battled with for a long time, but I never knew the severity of it until I started working in healthcare, and I was like, okay, this is serious. And they were like, hey, Jess, let's start changing your diet. Let's start exercising more. And I would do that, and nothing worked. It just
Yeah.
didn't. But it's because it all boiled down to what I was consuming, what I was eating. There wasn't our food is stripped of the fiber now,
Mhm.
and it's no one's fault. It's just we're purchasing food that we're thinking is nutritional to us, and it's not the same like it used to be.
Mhm.
And so yeah, that was the biggest thing. And also, to a month before I started the Feel Great system, I had a visit with my primary care, and he was getting ready to put me on blood pressure medicine. And he said, I'll give you 3 months to bring your blood pressure down. He goes, but I do want to start you on a low dose until I increase it. And I said, no, it's okay. Because in the back of my mind, I was getting ready to reach out to Jen to get on the protocol. And I had seen multiple people say, hey, my blood pressure's improved. So I left his office and he looked at me kind of like, well, I'm your doctor telling you need to go on a small dose and you're saying no. And it's because in the back of my mind, I knew I was going to be reaching out to Jen. And so I was like, before I get put on another pill, let me try this system. And I did. And sure enough, 2 months in, my next visit was 3 months after that. My blood pressure was back to normal. It was 120 over 18, 117. It was good. And I was sitting around 130, 140 over 98. It was starting to get high. But it was just I just felt like here's a pill, and I didn't want that.
Mhm.
I knew that those pills were only going to be a band-aid. They weren't going to be getting to the root cause of why I was having that blood pressure. It was just going to be a band-aid. And like I said, I worked in healthcare, I worked in the emergency department. I would constantly check my sugar and my blood pressure, and they were high. And I was like, let me give this a chance. If this doesn't work, I'll let the doctors give me whatever they want to give me to keep me alive. I was just at that point. And sure enough, I'm so glad that I gave it a chance
Well, can I
because
ask you, Jess, because I know I was very persistent for a while. What is your estimate on how many times I brought up, you need to try this before you probably actually did? Like how much time? Like was it months?
if
Like,
I remember correctly and can think back, I think you probably were reaching out to me for like an entire year before I said yes. You were trying to show me the products, and it was a whole year of me saying, I'll think about it, I'll think about it. Oh, okay, okay, I'll think about it. And yeah, until I had no choice but to think about it because
yeah.
I knew I was in a danger spot. I was headed towards destruction. I have had family members have amputations. I have a somebody very important in my life right now, today, that is on dialysis. He's got two amputations, and he's a walking billboard of what the damage type 2 diabetes can do for you. And I just look at him as an example of what I didn't want to happen to me. And so, with everything that I was going through, and then everything that I would help him with, it was just like, it was a light bulb. It was like, what are you doing? Try it. You're reading all these testimonies, you're hearing about it, you're seeing people show literal proof of their lifestyles being changed. What do you have to lose? What do you know, you're going to get your money back if it doesn't work. And at that point, I was just like, something's got to give. And that whole year of you, not constantly, I don't want to say you were blowing up my phone every single day, but you weren't doing that. But anytime I'd see you out or I'd, see your posts and I'd go to the pharmacy or something, it was just, hey, I have this, I have this. And I was like, there's no way that stuff works. There's no way that stuff works. It's like another Herbalife. It's probably
Yeah.
no. I was like, there's no way that works. And I am glad that I just caved in and tried it. But I was also at a desperate point in my life because
Yeah.
I I had nothing to lose. I was hospitalized for 3 days that night of the emergency when I found out my blood sugar was 740. It was by the grace of God that I was even walking into that hospital.
Yeah.
I mean, I had countless and that ER physician and the nursing staff, they were really incredible, took care of me. They were like, how are you even alive? Like,
I'll be
how are
honest,
you
Jess.
not in DKA? How are you
Yes.
not?
We
And I
see
was
people
like,
with blood sugars over 500 in comas.
exactly. That's what the ER physician said. As soon as they got the blood sugar lab back, because I couldn't even get my blood sugar checked with their machine. They ran labs, and he came into the room, and my mom, I'll never forget, my mom was right there. And my mom's been a diabetic for years at that time. So when he said, I'm admitting you, your blood sugar is 745. I said, is that bad? I looked at my mom. I had no idea. My mom was like, huh? Like, how are you not in DKA? How are you not like,
Hmm.
I just, I just say it was God. God was looking out for me. And I just, I'm so glad that I got introduced to the system. I have a great story to tell and share to people. And I just hope that it inspires people to just take a leap of faith and give the system a try because you just don't know what it can do for you. It can give you your life back, your sleep back, your energy back, your cognitive ability. Like brain fog is so bad. It's like I said, I worked in the emergency room and people in their 30s and 40s or 50s are coming in with cardiac arrest, heart conditions. I mean, we're running EKGs on people who are 30 and we never used to do it at that young of an age. So something in our food industry is killing us. And we have a system that can help us and give us our life back. So I hope that encourages somebody to hop on and just give it a try. As if it can do it with me, somebody who has a whole nother health side that I don't normally share, but if it can do it for me, it certainly can do it for somebody else. And I just hope that somebody's inspired tonight to take a leap of faith and give the products a try.
Thank you so much for sharing your story.
Yes,
Now,
of
I
course.
also bothered Jess for almost a year to share her story. I've been bothering her lately. I'm like, girl, you have an awe-inspiring story. You have all the things that so many people have. So I
Yeah.
was so excited when you wanted to step up and share your story. I was so excited about it. So thank you so much. We
Yes, of
really
course.
appreciate you so much for coming on here and for trusting me with your health.
Yes. Yes,
So
I'm
thank
glad I
you.
did.
Yeah. So I'm gonna go back into screen share and I'm gonna show everybody on here just a little bit of, let's see if I can get it on here. Go back into screen share and I will try to pull up for you guys. You guys see this okay? I can't see anybody. So can someone tell me if you can
No
see the screen?
screen sharing. I don't see anything. I
Not coming
still
up?
see Jess.
Okay. Oh, goodness. This is, my computer's being a little not fun today. Try this.
Here we go. I see something
Thank you.
there.
All right. Is it pulling up for full screen for you or no?
I still see it where it says audience window.
This whole thing,
And
a little bit of a problem today. I'm not sure why it's not going full screen. Oh, goodness. Let's try this. Oh, that's, yes?
there we go.
I'm having all kinds of problems with this computer today. I don't know what is going on.
That
So I
looks good now.
apologize. I apologize. All right. So what Jess is talking about when she's talking about our system, just a little bit of the science behind it, is one of the things she's doing now is fasting. So fasting is what I would consider a lost art form. It's something that our bodies were created and designed to metabolically do. And these are just some of the studies that have been supported by research, like literally the full-on placebo-controlled trials, as we would call it, that doing fasting can help not only with type 2 diabetes and help with body fat and blood pressure and inflammation and oxidative stress and all of these laundry list of things. Now, one of the things that we're doing is fasting. And then just like Jess was saying, we're also doing a system. So this is kind of the basics of what the system looks like. And this would be indicative over there on the left is kind of what she's talking about when she was keeping her blood sugar finally in range, in control range. She's using the tea and she's using the fiber. So with the system, instead of 6 meals a day is what I consider it, or which would be breakfast, lunch, dinner, and snacks in between, keeping your insulin high all the time. Instead, what me and Jess and Tanya and Marcus and so many of us on here are doing is we're having the tea for breakfast. We're drinking this beautiful Unamate yerba mate tea first thing in the morning. We're having it for breakfast. We're pushing back our first meal of the day. And then we're trying, depending on the person, we're trying to have a healthier lunch if we can. And then we're trying to keep our meals so that only one is carb rich. And that carb rich meal, we have the beautiful balanced fiber before, keeping down the blood sugar spike and keeping down the insulin spike with the meal. This is keeping us out of that insulin resistant state, keeping us having insulin sensitivity. And this is the difference. That little green line is what your insulin levels look like. Now, when your insulin is high, you can't burn fat for fuels. This can also be a healthy and easy way to lose weight, which can also help your blood sugar, help your blood pressure, help your cholesterol. So what are the products she's talking about? Well, the Unamate, our beautiful yerba mate, is a purified and concentrated yerba mate extract. We handpick the leaves in Argentina, and we have a patented process to make sure that you get a product that is clean, that is energizing, vegan, natural, ultra concentrated, halal, kosher, all the good things. It also comes with this beautiful balanced fiber, also gluten-free, naturally sweetened with just a little bit of stevia, no sugar in it. It's Health Canada approved, which Health Canada is actually more stringent than the FDA here in the US, so that means a lot. And just like Jess was saying, these are in the prescriber's digital reference. It's the gold standard reference for pharmaceutical drugs, so your doctor can pull it up. And we're the only company in the world with 2 natural products listed that directly address insulin resistance, the Balance and the Unamate, which means our system isn't just another supplement. There's a million supplements out there, guys. I know there is, but ours is proven, credible, and recognized at the highest level of healthcare. And all of these benefits occur for less than $6 a day. So for my friends on here, if you could put in the chat, is this affordable? When you cut the snacks and you cut breakfast, are you able to afford this product? Because I save money doing this. By cutting the breakfast, cutting the drive-through breakfast, cutting the Starbucks in the afternoon, not buying the Celsius drink, literally almost every single day, not buying a little candy, not buying a little bag of chips, the little 100-calorie pack of pretzels in the afternoon, I have saved way more than $6 a day on junk. Way more. And the simplicity of it, guys. The tea, when you drink it, it takes about 15 minutes to start curbing the appetite. That's why we drink one first thing in the morning, and we drink one starting around lunch so that it will work. It lasts about 4 to 6 hours in the bloodstream. So by drinking it first thing in the morning in the fasted state, we're going to increase the ketones and the fat burning, keep you from being hungry. And then in the afternoon, we drink it between lunch and dinner so we don't snack all afternoon. It's so simple. Like, it's just the simplest thing that you can do. And then the fiber, we drink it right before any meal that's carb dense. So if you're going to have the burger or in the fries or the pasta or anything like that, you would just simply drink the fiber first. We also have a beautiful fasting app that comes with it. Super easy. You can just click the little buttons on there, drink my tea, drink my fiber, gives you little reminders. So simple. Has recipes on the app, which is just incredible. You have all kinds of references. There's a blog there. There's all kinds of things to help you. And then you get a 90-day money back guarantee. Where else do you get that? Like, literally nowhere. So the big question I always get, and this is the one we're going to go to end with, is do we really need supplements? I mean, fasting is free, right? Do we need the supplements? Well, supplements do speed the results so that people can stick with it. Because I'll be honest with you, if it takes you 5 years to get there, you may not be willing to put in the time. But if you can see some seriously measurable results in a year, you're more likely to stick with it and get to exactly where you need to be. We also have a beautiful community, not only people like Jess willing to share their story, but a whole team of coaches that can help you with accountability, to help teach you what you need to do, what food's going to be even better for you. And it takes out the guesswork of it. And then we have challenges. We have a group together where we do these challenges. We can ease you in to using the system, or we can help you push a little farther if you're ready to go to the next stage and the next level. I also included a little study here that shows on how water fasting, yes, does give some hormone level, glucagon-like peptide hormone level raising benefits, but Unimate does even more. Our beautiful Unimate and Balance have both been scientifically shown to increase the glucagon-like peptide hormone, just like Ozempic, but safely. Without the serious side effects, it's just good prebiotic fiber and a beautiful herbal tea that naturally energizes you. Also comes in decaf, if that's a choice that you would like. And it's been an incredible program for myself. I've lost 30 pounds, balanced my menopause hormones, have normal periods again, off 2 blood pressure medications and off omeprazole that I was on for over 20 years. And I know we have a plethora of stories on here tonight as well. So if someone invited you to this meeting, reach out to them and have a conversation on how you can get started on this adventure for yourself. And if you're interested in the diabetes prevention program, that's going to be something I'm going to be bringing right into our group. All right, you can get started today on the system with the person who invited you, and we can get started on preventing diabetes in your future. If you're like me and you have a family history, you have a grandpa, you have the 2 uncles, you've seen what diabetes can do to your family, and you don't want to go there, it's time to start thinking about what you're eating now. Then, of course, right now, we're going to our Fat Blast Challenge. If my friends on here are in the Fat Blast Challenge, next week, we're going to be doing a 72-hour fast. Who's ready? If you guys are looking at me like 72-hour fast, are you crazy? That's because you must not have the tea and fiber in your hands, because you guys can absolutely do it. We've done it several times. We're going to do it again. Guys, it's so much easier than you think. If that's something you want to do, reach out to who invited you to this meeting tonight. We're going to do it together. We're going to do it together. And I'll make sure I get on the group after this and make sure I post exactly when that started. I believe it's the 25th, but I want to double check. And we will be doing a good 72-hour fast together. If you're looking for the one-on-one coaching, we've got that. We've got some great coaches and mentors here. And we have ongoing programs where we're going to continue to bring you challenges and to help you get results. So 90-day money back guarantee, free app, coaching community, thousands of success stories, literally no reason for you to make me call you every day for every month for a year, right, Jess? Poor girl. I was like, girl, I know you need this and I know it will help you. And
And I'm
sometimes that's how you got to do it with your friends, right, guys? You just got to be a little persistent. And like she said, I probably once a month said something to Jess and was like, Jess, tea's still here if you want to try it. Next time I saw her, if you just want to taste it, I got one right here. And pretty soon I snuck her a packet. And that's how it all started.
and a plus it's good. Like it's
Yeah.
so good.
It tastes good. Yeah.
I give it to my sister and my nieces to try, and they're like, "Oh my god, that's so good! Like that tastes really good."
And
I'm
it's
like,
cheaper
"Yeah,
than an energy drink.
yeah,
It's about $1.88 a packet. If you think about it, you go to the store for an energy drink, they're $2.50 or more. You go through Starbucks for a latte, it's $5 to $7 or more. Like, I mean, it's honestly cost effective. It really
yeah,
truly is.
yes, it is."
So I'm going to see, do we have any questions from anyone in the chat today, guys? Any questions at all from anyone on here? I think a lot of our friends on here are on the system. We do have some new people on here today, and we'll have a recording of this. I might have to delve them together. But other than that, we will have a recording of this as well. Any questions, anybody? Or any questions for Jess, too? Anything? If we have no questions, easy peasy. Yes, Larry, hope everybody has a wonderful week. Yes, and again, thank you so much for sharing. Oh, and Sandra has a quick question. Do you recommend a 72-hour fast for someone who's just maintaining their health and wellness and weight? Yes, I do. I recommend, Sandy, that you do a 72-hour fast once or twice a year. If you're not trying to lose weight, you're at your health goals, you're feeling good, but you just want to induce autophagy to help boost your immune system and improve your gut health, twice a year is plenty. If you're someone who is struggling with type 2 diabetes, your blood sugar, your weight, anything like that, you can do a 72-hour fast once a month. Okay. But I wouldn't recommend that for someone who's just trying to maintain their weight and not trying to lose any, if that makes sense. Looking forward to a 72. I love them. I love them. You gonna do a 72 with us, Jess? Maybe.
But yeah, count me in. I'll
All
do
right.
it. I've not done 72, but I've gone close to like 48 hours. So it's a challenge. I'll do it. And I'm somebody who really struggled to do like an 8-hour fast before I started this system. So when somebody said you're fast, I said I haven't eaten since like 6 o'clock yesterday. They're like, "What?" I'm like, "I promise you, it's easy to do when you're on the field rate system." I said because if not, there's no way. There's no way I would have been able to do it.
Isn't
But
it crazy?
it makes it easy, and it's worth it.
I love it. Thank you so much, everybody, for joining us. Mark got to 50 hours last time. Mark, we'll get 72, no problem. I have 100% faith in you. I
Throw
love
something in there real quick, Jen.
Yeah.
On the 72-hour fast, anybody that's going to try it first time, whatever, if you feel hungry, of course, got to eat. It's not a challenge for something you got to do. It's something to try to get your body there slowly. Maybe next time, like Mark just said, he did 50 last time.
That's
He's going to
incredible.
try and get 72, but maybe he'll only get 60. But listen to your body. That's the main thing.
Absolutely, guys. This is
Yeah.
not meant to be unsafe. If your body is not fully into metabolic flexibility and it's not creating the ketones that you need it to, what will happen is if you do a longer fast, you're going to start feeling cruddy, as in maybe you'll feel shaky or lightheaded or dizzy or something like that. It's not meant to feel like that. If it starts to feel like that, you need to eat. You need to make sure you're getting in plenty of electrolytes. You need to make sure that you're putting something in your body because this is not meant to push yourself to some sort of unsafe level. Okay. But normally with fasting, for those of us who've been doing this for a while, the only problem we usually see is a little tummy rumbling and our brain thinking we need to eat.
Mm-hmm.
Like, oh, I'm feeling a little hungry. Or, ooh, I see someone eating a cookie over there. This makes
Yeah.
me think I need to eat something. And if that's all you're feeling is you want to eat because you're jealous of watching other people eat, you can keep pushing. Okay, you're in a perfectly safe place and you can keep pushing. And depending on medication, you may need to talk to your doctor about the safety of doing a longer fast. So make sure you reach out to your physician if you're on medication. Some people, especially if you have blood pressure or blood sugar issues, or if you're on blood pressure or blood sugar medication, you have to monitor. You're supposed to monitor anyway. If you're on those medications, you should be monitoring your blood pressure and your blood sugar, because if they start to come down, which they can normalize and regulate themselves. You may need to skip some doses of medication. So that's conversation you can have with your doctor. Yes, Steve, exactly. The days the customers bring in donuts and cookies are always the day you're on your 72-hour fast. For sure. Just get ready for it, guys, because it's coming. It's like Jesus, take the wheel. He shows up to tempt you. He will show up and say, let's see if they can do it or not. So, all right. Thank you guys, everyone, so much for joining us today. Again, thank you, Jess.
Yes.
Sharing your story, and we will expect to hear even more of you sharing your story in the future. We're excited for that. And I will get a recording to anybody if they want it after the live. All right.
Thank you, everyone.
Have a good night, everybody.